Group A is slowly but steadily coming to its conclusion here at the Meta Madness group stage, and now we have the Circus Clowns against La Crusade. Guys, this is probably the battle for the #1 spot in the group. And, well, it actually is the battle for the #1 spot in the group. So, the Circus Clowns, I would say, are the favorites here, but the team on the right side has shown some pretty sweet games as well. Now, once again, quick reminder how the format here works. Meta Madness is all designed to push the teams out of their comfort zone and force them to play heroes they normally wouldn't use in a traditional tournament format. And we do that by implementing 2 rules. Rule number 1, there's heroes that are banned for the entire event. So the 10 heroes that you see down here are the heroes that are banned for the group stage. The number will likely increase when we're heading into the playoffs, but in the group stage, those heroes cannot be played. The second rule is that every single hero can only be played once within a match. So if you see a hero played in a game, you will not see the same hero played again in the same series. Every single hero that gets played on map number 1 cannot be played again in game number 2, 3, 4, or 5. So as the groups or the matches progress, obviously there's less and less heroes available, which means that things are getting pretty wild. And we have had a lot of teams that from the beginning have embraced the spirit of Meta Madness. I mean, we've seen it all at this point. We've seen the Butcher, we've seen Illidan, we've seen Murky, we've seen pretty much everything. Not quite, but we're getting close. Probius hasn't been played, Asmodan hasn't been played, so there's a few that haven't shown up yet, but it's slowly happening for sure. So right now we got a Rhaegar first pick on the side of the blue team. Malfurion and Junkrat get also locked in by La Crusade. Obviously it's important for the teams that they end up in the first spot in the group. There's 2,000 euros prize money on the line, and if you end up as one of the first in the group, you're getting a better seeding for the playoffs and therefore have a bit of an easier run. At this point, I also want to give another big shout out again to everybody supporting me in the stream on Patreon. If you want to join the supporters, you can go to patreon.com/Khaldor. Always appreciated. Without the supporters on Patreon, this wouldn't be possible. So we had previous tournaments that we were running here where the prize money and everything was completely financed by me in the channel. This one is no exception. Currently, it's very, very difficult to find any corporate sponsors for Heroes of the Storm tournaments, because sad truth is that most companies look at it and say like, hey, if even Blizzard doesn't support their own game anymore and has pretty much written it off, why would we invest into a game like that? And obviously it makes a lot of sense. Which is sad for the game, but it is what it is. But therefore it's even more so appreciated that people are still willing to support us here, because without it, tournaments like Meta Madness in this form would not be possible. So thanks again to everybody supporting over at patreon.com/Khaldor. With this, we have Lauber again, by the way, and Muradin. I talked about Lauber already in the context of him having the first death of Meta Madness. So Lauber is still sticking to his guns. It was actually kind of funny because he showed up in the Twitch chat after this as well and was just talking a little bit about it. And he's having a lot of fun with Meta Madness. It's one of the reasons why he's actually back for the tournament. So he more or less retired and isn't really participating in big tournaments anymore right now. But he loves the format, so he signed up with his boys over here, and they've been doing a great job in this group. Nagrom with Varian, so they're going a bit for a sniper comp over here. We get Falstad for a bit of global action on Haunted Mines. We have Malfurion as a follow-up for Varian's Taunt. Some serious comps that the two teams are currently busting out here. The one thing I should probably mention as well is that Haunted Mines, Hanamura and Blackheart's Bay are technically not part of the map pool, but because on the first map you normally have team compositions that are a little bit more normal, because only, in this case in the group stage, 10 heroes are not available, we wanted to still give this a little bit of a twist. So while those maps cannot be picked by the teams themselves, they will always be the starting map. One of them will be the starting map for each series, just to make things a little bit more spicy and more interesting. I think that's in your interest, so yeah. Last pick, we have one more for the red team as we're heading in, and it is Ragnaros. Not a dumb pick, honestly, for Haunted Mines. And here, it's a little bit tough if you go Lava Wave or if you go Sulfuras, considering the lineup that they're currently playing now. There's two good arguments to be made, but before we head into that, let's join the game itself. Haunted Mines, game number 1 in the best of 5 here in Group A between Circus Clowns and La Crusade. Game number 1, let's go! Swamp Grotta on Malthael, Lauber on Murden, Death Knight on Rega, Skok on Maiev, and Gia is playing Greybane. As the two teams battle for first and second place in the group. To the right side, we got Willy on Varian, Panda Colada on Junkrat, and Nagrom on Falstad, Guilty Spark on Malfurion, and Play on Ragnaros. Ragnaros is really interesting here for a couple of reasons. So, first of all, I really like the Ragnaros pick in the context of Meta Madness, because if you... Let's say your opponent gets a big golem. Doesn't actually matter. Like, any kind of objective can always be delayed or countered by Ragnaros to an extent with this trait. So this is where plays Molten Core is going to be really useful for them. So when they want to stop one of those golems from the opponent, then he can already do that. So that makes him, right from the get-go, a pretty solid pick on the map, just in regards to the objective. They're really brawling it out, aren't they? Damn, son! Yeah, macro camps? Nah! Fight! 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 It's a hero brawler after all, so let's go. Look at the birdie! Nagrom, what? That's a suicide chicken if I've ever seen one. Damn! Nobody died. That surprises me a little bit more than anything else. What happened to Lauber? He actually survived this? I mean, that's kind of crazy. Okay, but I was talking a little bit about Ragnaros. So I like it already for the trade, for the reason mentioned. And of course, that second Malfurion gets murdered. But Ragnaros also has now a very interesting choice on level 10. Normally, it's of course all about Sulfura Smash. In every context of an actual tournament, Sulfuras was always the ult that you had to go for. When you saw Lava Wave, then it was most of the time in a game that didn't really matter, where the team already thought, okay, we got this in the back either way. In high-level tournaments, if there was a Ragnaros, it was always about Sulfuras and then trying to get the damage in. But with Haunted Mines as the map, you can obviously go for Lava Wave if you expect there to be big battles over the objective on the lower tier in the mines. If that happens, then setting up a Lava Wave at the top with a proper timing is really going to allow your lane to pressure, and it will force somebody from the opponent to move topside to deal with it, especially if you are able to set a Siege Giant camp onto the lane in time. Now, with that being said, you still have, right now, a Varian comp. So, with Taunt and Malfurion's root follow-up, Sulfuras would get massive value here. I mean, massive value. You're guaranteed to hit that. You have to be absolutely blind and drunk out of your mind in order to not hit a Sulfura Smash if you have a Varian to set you up, to tee you up properly. So, we'll see what they end up doing here. But given the fact that this is a battle for the first and second place in the group, I think we can safely assume that this is going to be a Sulfura Smash so that they can get a quick burst kill. Now, for defense purposes, if you find yourself more so on the receiving end, you could go into Lava Wave, create a little bit more macro space, and also help with the defense against any golem together with the Molten Core, but time will tell for sure. Now, Blast Wave continues on level 4 after initially we had on level 1 the Sulfuras Hungers. So that one's already in. In addition to that, Ragnaros is getting crushed up at the top now, so he got caught. We have the red team in the mines already. So this is one of the games where they, from the beginning, really start focusing on those skulls. We had a couple of very, very different games on Haunted Mines thus far. Sometimes teams that really don't give a damn about the skulls at all, just stay topside and push. We've seen that especially when Sylvanas was available and got picked, or when teams even thought about going for Zagara, any hero that could really pressure. But now it's all about those skulls. We got 15 to 23, big fight at the entrance already, and it's Junkrat that dies. Junkrat is down, they go for Ragnaros again, and he dies. They're trying to take down Varian too, and he gets tethered over, and gets murdered by Maiev. Ruthless, absolutely ruthless. 5 kills to 0. The blue team definitely going on a tear here. So they are able to get those kills. And yep, this is looking really good for them. Not only will they take the lead in skulls, but they also have an experience advantage now. And they have all the time and space needed to go for an additional camp, which they take right away. Apparently want to go for a bit of chicken here at the top too, but can't quite go for Falstad. And let's face it, with everybody else on the red team side rotating in too, they need to be a bit more worried about their own heroes here. Lauber gets attacked right away. Obviously, it's a given that he's going to go for the Playmaker again on level 10, as he has throughout the entire tournament so far. We have by now 49 to 23 skulls. And down here, it's still the boss up for grabs. So yeah, that one can still be claimed. They're still all going for the camps here and still brawling it out. Once again, it's Varian that gets attacked. They're trying to hit him hard here. But Falstad flying in, giving him some cover. Talking Falstad. Skog, he likes his chicken. He definitely has an eye on the birdie every time he pops his head up. Stormbolt zones out Varian a little bit. He clears zoning Stormbolt from Lauber. Just intended to cut his path of retreat off a little bit. And nobody is really moving down to the bottom of the map or to the lower tier yet to go for the remaining skulls. So nobody wants to sacrifice their time. And as I say it, the red team proves me wrong and makes their move. Okay, so they're getting the additional skulls. They're trying to burn this down as quickly as they can. And that could end up with them getting to 51. And indeed they will. There's nothing that gets contested by the blue team. So the skulls get all locked in. And therefore we have more or less an even golem for the two. That, on the other hand, could prove a little bit difficult for Varian. He needs some friends, and he gets them. Alfurion and Falstad help out. But yeah, a bit dicey. Look where Ragnaros is, top side. So he can go Molten Core now. He can go for the Molten Core and can defeat against the Golem, whereas the rest of the team can push at the bottom of the map. That's one of the sexy little plays that you can go for if you have Ragnaros. So he's very good at slowing these objectives down. I told the story in the past how he was played at the beginning when he was introduced quite a lot with Nazebo, so that you could slow down the game a little bit and the opponent could take the objective. You didn't care about it too much and you just defended against it with a Molten Core, and then it allowed Nazebo to stack longer and get into the late game to get to his thingy, his mega damage. What's it called? I'm blanking! When he had his stacks, and I want to say virulent reaction, but that's Stukov. What am I looking for? You know what I mean. The 20. The thingy. With the big damage. I'm blanking. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. So we're trying to slow the game down, and Ragnaros is awesome for that, but he's already defending here. It's going to come to me in a second. Falstad, he's taken apart. Level 10 kicking in obviously gives a big advantage to them right now. Vile Infection, not Virulent Reaction, the Vile Infection. It's nearly the same. Same difference. So 6 kills to 0. We are still waiting for the first... Yeah, we're still waiting for the first kill from La Crusade. They need a level 10 before they can do anything here. 51 stacks, by the way, for the birdie. So Falstad is sitting tight. Careful, Varian! And he's alive. And we get the lava wave. No Sulfuras. They're not looking for kills. They are going for the lava wave instead. Let's see if that works out. Let's see if they can macro it up. We had a game just the other day, just yesterday, where Lava Wave actually got teamfight value. Not value in and of itself. I mean, obviously with Lava Wave you always get macro value. But where in the teamfight, Lava Wave did some serious damage. It was pretty impressive to see it. I believe it was on Cursed? But yeah, so Meta Madness always makes for some absolutely fantastic moments like this. But here in this one, I want to see what he is able to get out of it. First, we're now seeing Maiev move down to the bottom of the map, trying to make the play for Panda Colada. Stormbolt and Lava Wave. Die, insects. Riptire, can they get a kill? Murder jumped in. The body block. And the Rega is dead. Rega is down, and Lauber with the solidarity death as he comes into Svampgrotta. There it is, the triple kill. La Crusade finally showing up here, saying hello, and they get 3 kills, and now thanks to that they will be able to destroy the bottom fort, so they are drawing even in structures. And I actually might have spoken a little bit too soon. I don't think they can take that fort down. They didn't have a minion wave, So yeah, instead they're now losing Junkrat. I gotta say, Skorg is absolutely crushing it. I mean, some of the IF plays that we have already seen in this game alone were just glorious. And also yesterday on the first day of the group stage, he did such a fantastic job. So right now, Guilty Spark and his boys are down at the bottom trying to do a bit more work towards the objective, but they gotta be very careful that they're not losing isolated heroes, like in this case, Varian, who is under pressure. And he might actually fall, but it's also Greymane who's in trouble, and Varian comes in and delivers the final blow, now that some assistance came in. So yeah, well done. They're getting not only a kill, but also pulling a little bit ahead on the skulls. They are still behind in experience, but that's something that of course can be adjusted pretty quickly. Top side. Money Pig is coming in again, and yeah, we still have them at 48. 48 skulls already, so they're doing really well. Level 13 is also available. We got the Bronze Beard Rage over here. I would probably love to see a little bit more use of the Lava Wave now, currently on cooldown, so we'll see if he just YOLOs that out again. Topside pressure could still be there. Level 13 is also in. Ragnaros continues with the Cauterized Wound. And Guilty Spark is about to die. They're all so low. It's insane. Lava Wave comes in. Malfurion is dead. Top lane gets at least pushed out, but Ragnaros himself doesn't make it. He's down. The blue team still looking for even more kills, no matter how low they are. They are nearly getting another one as they are going for Varian. The cocktail was so close of actually dropping him. So yeah, Greymane nearly netted himself another kill. 9 kills to 4 in total now, and they are just hopping mad, moving all over the place, just going for one hit after another. At this point, it's in regards to damage, definitely Maiev and also Greymane who are running the show for the blue team with 27,000 and 25,000. Actually, I kind of overlooked Malthael here in this. Malthael is second highest damage on his team. So doing extremely well, way better than I expected him to. Had of course already 1 kill through his level 10. That's a single stack that he could lock in. 29,000 for Falstad. Again, it's the entrance to the mine that is the absolute center of this fight. Svamgrotta is low, he's down. Ragnaros has also fallen. 4 versus 4 battle now. The disc is out. Lauba gets stopped and killed. And Falstad is already starting to fly, trying to stop Greymane. Successfully, I might add, and that is Gia biting the dust. 15 to 15. Willy, still best name. Never really made it to another target, so he couldn't drop another taunt. Instead, they're going for the objective. And this is going to be a big one for them. It's going to be a very big one for them. They're going to have a nice golem to attack now. And they should be able to finally take a structure out. Keep in mind, they lost both their forts. Both their forts have been destroyed. They still haven't taken out a single one. But now the golem is going to spawn all the way up at the top. So that's a solid one to take down the fort. The wall has been opened up more or less, so they can definitely try and take this one. There's another camp that they can take. Each team takes one, so a couple of pumpkins. In this case, it also... Well, maybe they're not getting it after all. There's a gust very early. Camp is taken. Maiev at the front. And even Malfurion with his ult. Better safe than sorry. And he hits the R button hard. Alright. Well, there's a lava wave now too. Yeah, that push is gonna hurt quite a bit. So another minion wave is taken. Ragnaros is down at the bottom of the map. Can start to defend. And gets completely locked in by it. Now Murden at the top has fallen in the meantime. And with that, we have 16 on both sides. But this top fort is definitely going to get dropped. The golem at the bottom of the map will be defended by Ragnaros. But it's a bit of a wild battle here. Willy low, and Willy is down. Willy is dead. Nearly 20 kills in total now. And they are not able to save the top fort. But at least they're not taking more damage than that. So the top fort goes down. Ragnaros defended at the bottom of the map. They can still try to push this a little bit. And there's honestly a chance that with a little bit of a time lag that we have between the rotations, that they can do enough damage on the bottom fort to drop the entire thing. But they got to be careful because they know there's a rotation coming to meet them. And Varian is dead, so they have only 4 buddies on the map. 81 stacks on Falstad in the meantime. So he's getting his damage in with the 39,000 that he so far brought to the table here. Ragnaros, you can clearly see, is leading this in siege damage. 135,000, nobody else is even close. Lava Wave doing enormous amount of damage here and really helping them to keep control of those lanes. But it's a spicy first game between the two of them. Stormbolt, Lauber is always... he's really jumpy in this game. He's always moving forward, trying to get another connect with the Stormbolt and create a problem. Maiev hasn't died yet in the game, so Skog is the only one in the entire game that hasn't died yet. 11 to 8 kills. And, well, here we go. They try for Willy. Disc is out, does not connect. Ragnaros is slowly coming in from above. Again, the ult from Malfurion, and Lauber gets murdered. They go for Death Knight. He goes for the Self-Ancestral. Gust is out too. Skog still trying to tether, trying to pull. It's the birdie that goes down next as they are setting up the kill. But an attempt to go for Gia and the counter killer with a taunt. That's definitely in the cards, and they drop the big bad wolf. It is a 3 versus 4 as La Crusade takes the numbers advantage. Both teams on level 18. The undeads are spawning again in a couple of seconds. And it is spicy. One hell of a game here. We are 15, 16 minutes in, and honestly, I have absolutely no idea who's going to take it here in the long run. Svamgrota with the Angel of Death. He's sitting at a single stack for his last rites. Not really a whole lot of cooldown reduction that he can use. And with level 20 kicking in, Ragnaros, I mean, keep an eye on him. We had him already once with a double charge. Oh, the disc! They really want that camp, don't they? But I guess it's going to be taken by Varian after all. But the fight isn't over by any means, and Varian is in real trouble. It's Malfurion that dies first. Varian is also low. The Frenchies, they're doing what they do best. They're on the run, but they are not running fast enough. Varian dies, and the red team trying to turn it around now that Ragnaros is joining the battle, but he might be a little bit too late. Goes for the trade and gets shut down. Bad news for La Crusade. The Circus Clown turning this into a full-on Clown Fiesta right now. They are half a level ahead, a bit closer to level 20. They are immediately moving into the mines after they kill 3 heroes and have now the opportunity to go for the big golem and also get their level 20. So yeah, this is gonna get a bit dangerous for the red team. They're definitely gonna have some trouble because this one's gonna hit hard. The cooldown wasn't triggered though, if I'm not mistaken, on the trade of Ragnaros, so he should be able to use it to defend, or at least delay. It's a second stack also for Malthel, which means he's now at a 10-second cooldown reduction. Problem for the red team is they need a level 20. You really want to have level 20. So they should be able to get that in time for the defense. But Ragnaros is absolutely essential now at the bottom of the map to make sure that they can defend this properly and don't lose their keep. Or even if they lose the keep, so to make sure that they're not losing more than that. Level 20 is in. Farsia's Blessing at this point. Ragnaros could get a bit more experience over here pretty easily from a distance. We have, at this point in time, also the rewind. Actually, I have to correct myself. I haven't really pointed it out, but I mean, we've seen it in action. Lauber hasn't gone for the Playmaker. That's the reason why he didn't die so often. He went for Avatar. It's a bit wild. It also allows him to be a bit more aggressive with all of this, but I am kind of shocked. 108 stacks by now on the side of Falstad. Yeah, Ragnaros with a double lava wave. He can definitely start using that for the defense. But already, Molten Core is in, so they're really trying to save this top keep as best they can. At the bottom of the map, their own golem is pushing, but it's of course a small one. Nice lockdown against Lauber. The lava wave hit him hard over here. Well done. The Riptire comes out too, but that golem is beasting it. The second lava wave came in as well, zoned them out, created a little bit of space. They're trying to take the golem down as quickly as possible. Lots of damage dealt here with more stacks coming in from Falstad. He's nearly at 60,000 damage right now, but the keep is still falling. Bottom of the map, Siege Giants are trying to at least destroy the wall. The Circus Clowns are losing a little bit of ground there, but up at the top, they're pushing and with the help of the golem, they should be able to take the keep, and indeed they do. The keep is gone. But boy, oh boy, did they have to fight for this one. They unleashed everything they had. And Ragnaros, I mean, again, double lava wave at the top, and in addition to that, also the Molten Core in an attempt to safeguard the keep. Wasn't able to do that. I was close. So yeah, and Falstad, he used the opportunity to stack even further. Now, his boomerang, it hits hard. Maiev still hasn't died. Maiev still has not fallen. So now Lauber coming out again. Yeah, hitting the hammer hard on the Riptire. Falstad flying in, trying for the wind tunnel, and Nagrom gets killed. They isolated Lauber though, and Lauber goes down too. So not sure if that was worth it, but at least it's a trade. The problem is that Malfurion is also dead, and now the entire team is getting chased, and that's a massive problem for them. Ragnaros running out of hit points, and it seems that Varian is running out of space. He's trying to move in, but it might be a bit too late. They already lost 3. They are about to lose number 4. Here comes the last rites. Another stack taken, and only Junkrat survives. Panda Colada realizing that this might still be a bit problematic for him, especially with the cocktail coming through. So he retreats, but the shield on the core is already mostly gone. And this should be the first victory in this best of 5 series for the Circus Clowns. They're clowning around here on the right side. We got 30 kills in total at the 20-minute mark. And a pretty nice game, a nail-biter on the first map of the series here on Haunted Mines. Nicely done. And GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Towers of Doom, game number 2. We have the blue team in the lead. Circus Clowns have pretty much run the show so far in this group, and La Crusade is the one team that could be able to take a few maps of them. And the first map was honestly a nail-biter. And obviously all of the heroes that have been played in the first game can now not be picked again, which means that 20 heroes are unavailable, always accounting for the 10 that are right here. It's going to be interesting. Now, we had a lot of one-sided games in the group stage. Most of them is still super fun and very entertaining. I'm always coming back to that Viking game with the 4 supports that Unleashed played, for example. But, of course, we want to eventually see games that, you know, go to the 4th map or even to the 5th map. Then again, group stages are always like that. That's the reason why we have a group stage. You want to really sort out the best teams in the tournament, and then they make their way towards the playoffs where things are getting a little bit more spicy. So, right now, we got the Vikings banned out already. It's Towers of Doom after all. And since so many heroes have already been banned, Vikings are becoming a more and more appealing option to teams that want to play macro. And since La Crusade has already shown us the Ragnaros and Lava Wave play, it just stands to reason that the Vikings are right down the alley. Lucio has been banned now too, Sylvanas is out. But I'm pretty hyped for this. This was a very, very nice first game. And I'm also impressed that Lauber resisted the impulse to go for Playmaker this time and went for Avatar, and it really worked well for them. So, yeah, pretty cool here. And we get Tracer banned in this case. Let's see what else we're gonna have with next bans, but first, of course, we're heading into the initial picks, and it's the Haka. You want to have a global, they're taking the Haka for this one. On tower is always a good pick. I mean, always. So this is going to be pretty good. Because Falstad has been played before. You can't go Falstad anymore. You could go ETC and play him with Stage Dive, which, by the way, the Circus Clowns have done before. But outside of that, you don't have a lot of options for global play. Illidan with Hunt would be a bit of a pseudo-global that you could utilize as well, and both teams have. But we are starting things off with the Nubarak and with Li Ming. Okay. Very interested in this series, not gonna lie. This should be very, very good. Very entertaining, at least. Now, the blue team, I said it in game number 1 already, they're clearly the favorite. But I like how La Crusade is playing it. I still want to call them the Croissants. They should have at least memed it a little bit and gone for, like, change the spelling of Crusade a little bit and just add the extra S and make their team logo a croissant. That would have made things so much better. Yeah, Medivh would have also made this a lot better, I think, because I still have yet to see a kidnap combo. in the group stage, and with Stitches locked in by Nagrom, that would have been a great pick. Absolutely love those Gorge and Portal plays, but we at least get the Tyrande follow-up on Stitches hooks, so it's all about dropping that stun and also the Hunter's Mark, so that he can burst the target down. And Tyrande can be very, very annoying on Towers of Doom in the first place, because you can just YOLO Owls out all day long whenever an opponent is trying to channel an altar, and that really, really helps you there. But yeah, with Zeratul banned, what's the double pick gonna be? Alright, Death Knight on Stukov, and we get Leo. That's still fairly normal, honestly. Always surprises me how standard some of these comps can still be if the teams really, really want to draft something like it. I mean, to be fair, Tyrande, not a hero that gets played a whole lot. Stitches, not really the tank that you see all that much. Li Ming has fallen off a ton. And the good thing is that no matter what they pick, we only see each hero once in the series. But yeah, those are still solid drafts with a traditional setup, single support, double frontline, double damage, Chromie in this case now. Even more interrupts from a distance and more poking. So definitely good for the French team. But what's it gonna be for Gia? The final pick now. They only have Li Ming as a real damage dealer, so they need a little bit more. And they go for Thrall. It's time for the War Chief. Game number 2, the Circus Clowns are in the lead here in Meta Madness, Group A. And now here in Towers of Doom, we're heading into the next one. Swamgrotta on Leoric for the blue team, Death Knight on Stukov, Gia on Li Ming, Skog on Thrall, and Lauber is playing a Dubarak. On the right side, we got La Crusade with Panda Colada on Chromie, Willy on Tychus, Nagrom on Stitches, Playee is playing Dehaka, and Guilty Spark is rocking it on Tyrande. Let's go! Alright, so what are we getting in this one? Yeah. Well, first of all, we get a hook attempt. That backfires, and it backfires massively. That's a quick kill. Goodbye, Stitches. Alright, Stitches is dead immediately. No chance for him. A little bit of a sad moment here. It's kind of unfortunate. You know what's also sad? I got GG'd pretty hard just the other day. Being reminded of it because in Twitch we were talking about, oh, well, actually, we are seeing Tigers die. Oof. That was pretty brutal. Damn, that's not a good start for the Crusade. Not even close. But yeah, we were talking on Twitch about, the other day, about, like, bald people. And I have another bald story. So I just got GG'd pretty hard. But honestly, it was one of the biggest GGs that I got in a long time. I mean, I got owned. So, girl grabbed my ass and my head at the same time, and I was just like, what the hell are you doing? Are you comparing my head to my butt, or what's happening here? And she just looks at me and says, well, your butt has more hair. I just stood there, my jaw dropped, and I was like, what the fuck? I got owned so hard, I was like, just GG, no ray. That was brutal. That was also brutal. Dehaka did not stand a chance there. This entire opening is brutal. We have the Circus Clowns just obliterating the red team. Kill after kill. It's pretty nasty what's happening here. There's a level lead that they're rocking. They're going for the camp now as well. And I gotta say, this is not boding well for the French team. Now, obviously, we're still very early in the game, and things can just flip on a dime, especially in Towers of Doom. This is the comeback map for a reason. But I still gotta admit that I did not expect the Circus Clowns to come out of the gate swinging the way they're doing right now. We got the Frostwolf Pact on level 4, so Thrall is gonna try and stack it up. The bigger they are currently on the next talent tier for Tigers. Oh, and Tyrande gets caught. The problem with Tyrande is always her survivability. She just does have a very low hit point pool, and she's lacking the escape tool that would allow her to get out of a dicey situation. So positioning is everything with Tyrande. And of course also a team that helps you, or helps to shield her in general. Finally counter kill, maybe not. Yeah, maybe we're not seeing that counter kill. Depends a little bit on Chromie. Lauber wants his cooldown back. Gets it, turns it. No way! What? At this point, you're just taking the piss. Are you serious? Guys, like, what? He should have died. Look at this. He's trying to escape. Should have died here. And instead, he just turns. Cooldown comes back, jumps on Chromie. Boom, they kill her, and he retreats. Insane. They killed Stitches in the meantime too. Well, you know, Stitch is somebody else. At this point, I'm kind of losing track at who they're killing. We're looking at 5 kills to 0. Up at the top, Play is now in trouble against Li Ming and against Leoric. The first altar has already been channeled. It seems like the Circus Clowns are looking for 40 to 0 here. What is this, North America? I mean, come on, guys. There's the second altar that gets taken. But damn, this is getting crazy. Absolutely crazy. Finally, one channel. Alright, it's Europe after all. So, a couple of shots are fired, 36 to 32. But with 5 kills to 0 and a full level lead plus a talent advantage, it's pretty good going for the Circus Clowns. So, La Crusade, they really gotta step it up a little bit. Now, the good news is obviously that when you're playing as Stitches, one good hook can always turn the tide of a battle on a dime. Very, very quickly. And you're also playing this one out on Towers of Doom, meaning you can definitely come back. If at any point in the mid and late game you're gaining momentum in team fights and are able to kill some heroes, you can do a whole lot by just taking map control and then dominating the next few altars. So there's a lot of stuff that you can pull off there. But either way, we have still that advantage for the Circus Clowns that they are very interested in keeping a hold on. Now, the red team has to be a bit more aggressive if they want to bridge that, especially before level 10 hits, and that's why they're invading the camp the way they do. Lauber gets attacked, but they give up the camp. They're looking for kills, though. Leoric isn't here, so it's a 5 versus 4, and they're not really willing to commit anything, therefore. But Swamgrota, he's just chilling. Gets licked over here, but nothing really happens. Obviously, the blue team is more than happy to play this slow. If they can pick a kill up, they will. But if they have to play it slow, they have no problem doing that, since level 10 will kick in for them a bit sooner than for their opponent. And running this with heroic abilities would give them a huge advantage. Tiger's dead, but this could be the first kill for them. And it is as Thrall falls. Great hook. Nicely done. Death Knight with a big spray game as he waddles away from Chromie's hits. They nearly have level 10. The double altar has been activated. Just buying a bit of time will ensure that they are grabbing it so that they can use it in this fight. And there it is already. So now we got the Cocoon, uses it immediately, dives onto Chromie. Li Ming a little bit low. They still have to fight this one out. Just because they have a level 10 doesn't mean that they're winning this right away. It's a 5 versus 4 at this point in time. And now that things are starting to stabilize a bit for the Circus Clowns and that 5th hero is coming back, the red team realizes that this might have been a mistake. So they're losing 1, they're losing 2. There's Sundering coming out. And Chromie is also in trouble, but this time she gets out. We still have the channel. Leo is going for it, and so does Stukov. So that means another 8 shots are fired and connected. And the core is going to drop down now to 24 points. Very solid advantage for the Circus Clowns with level 10. They can still try and do some additional damage, and I believe that they will focus onto the bot lane. Obviously, when you're playing on Towers of Doom, the bottom lane, he's griefing! He's griefing! He's absolutely griefing! He must be related to those catapult drivers that are always staring at the butt of the siege giants instead of driving around them. 100%. All griefers. All of them. All of them. What was I about to say? Ah, yeah, bot lane. Bot lane, super important on Towers of Doom. Reason's pretty simple. First and foremost, you have access to 2 altars through the bot lane. If you lose the bot lane battle tower thingy, bell tower. Starts with a B, different word, a little bit different. Jesus Christ. Stop hitting them, they're already dead. They're already dead, stop it. No, no. Bad clowns, bad clowns. At least Chromie gets a kill, but still, Stitches is gonna die. Gia! Oh my god. Yeah, Stitches dies after all, but still, Gia nearly didn't make it. If one of those Sandblasts connects with Chromie and kills her, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Gia's just sitting there and wants some heals, I suppose. Oh, please, if he gets Owl, that would be even better. But I was talking about the bot lane. So first of all, you have 2 altars that you can connect to from the bot lane. So if you take the bell tower control here over the lane entirely, you have a much easier time accessing the 2 of them, and especially the bottom one is more or less a freebie if you control the entire bot lane. But more importantly, since there's 2 of the pumpkin camps that travel through the bot lane, it means that once you control it, you have a very easy time getting more pressure up against the opponent's team and connecting a few dots with the core there, which they're doing with the altar now. So it's 36 to 20. We have also a big gap in kills with 11 to 3, and on top of that, a level advantage for the circus clowns that also in this case provides them with a talent lead over the opponent's team. So yeah, there it is. But either way, down to the bot lane now. They're still getting the entire team in action to defend. Problem for them is that, ooh, nice play, look at that. I was about to say, the gank on the Hogger will likely lead to a kill, but nope, not so much. He is totally unimpressed. He's just sitting there saying like, wait, you only brought 4 heroes? Sorry boys, but you're gonna need at least 5 to kill me. So he just runs away, slaloms through them, and yeah, burrows just in time to dodge out on the wolf. So very well done by him. And then again, Stitches, not quite that nimble, goes for his ult and is still alive. Gia, on the other hand, he dies. I think he just got owled. I think he had killed with a flare, but I don't care. I'm going to call that an owl kill. Thrall dies too, and what do you know? All of a sudden, La Crusade is starting to do some work here. I like it. Yeah, they have a few more kills. I mean, only 2, but that brings them very close to the experience level of the other team. And now they should also be able to get a second altar down at the bottom of the map. So all of a sudden, a little bit of momentum for the red team. Again, game number 2 in the best of 5, so obviously in an ideal world for them, they would now try to put a point onto the board to enter the 3rd map on an even footing with the Circus Clowns. Early game has definitely not gone too well for them, but this is now looking a lot better. The channel is happening, there's no interrupt potential, so therefore it's going to be another 4 shots connected. Yeah, always the combo with the Stitches hook and the stun from Tyrande. Hunter's Mark then has to be thrown out too. There's a whole reason behind this combo. Level 16 will still be a bit faster for the Circus Clowns. Yeah. The hooks keep coming. They're diving in. The Hogger isn't here yet. He might be a bit too late to the party because Tyrande is already dead. They are trying to catch Tigers, and the Entomb might not have caught him, but it still cut him off from the gate, and therefore another kill. Tigers falls, as did Tyrande, both of them eliminated, and now they are pushing for the bell tower. The blue team, the favorites in this group, and they are showcasing once again why exactly that is. 23 stacks for Nubarak, so he's also getting a little bit closer to completing his level 1 quest and getting an even beefier frontliner. We have no stacks for Thrall on his level 4, already 11.5 minutes into the game, and he has so far failed to complete the talent, which is a little bit annoying for him because he's trying to combo it off with the Alpha Wolf on level 16, so that cooldown reduction and the improved mana management would definitely be something he could benefit from in those team fights. 16 is ready for La Crusade too, and they got the Pulverize. That talent is so sick. If you ever played Stitches, once you get that talent, life's a lot more fun. A lot more. But with a 5-3 bell tower situation just around the 3 altar objective, things of course can go wrong very, very quickly. I mean, 10 points more or less guaranteed if you play your cards right now. Thrall is pushing this out as he's trying to get those pumpkins connected with the opponent's core. The Hogger is there to prevent that from happening, and likely will, but it also means that Skog is getting a freebie right there. Up at the top, Cocoon has been used, Tigers is dead, and so is very likely Tyrande. She gets slowed down, and if Nubarak has any kind of connection, yep, he does, once, twice, the stun's out, and that's the end of Tyrande. She's gone. Thrall got the bottom altar. That's 5 shots fired right here. They're down to 14. Boss gets taken. So does the top altar, which means that we're going to see them drop down to 5 points on their core. Yep, the Circus Clowns are eating the croissants alive at this point. Alright, hits are in. And there's another 5 shots fired. Bam! Voll auf die 12. 29 to 5 points. 15 kills to 5. And they still have a 1.5 level lead. Yeah, it's kind of nasty. That hook connects, but since he doesn't have Gorge, it doesn't do anything for him. Instead, it's Stitches that gets locked down. And I was about to say he makes it, but he dies. Chromie has taken a Nubarak down then again. So it's a trade in kills. Kind of noteworthy though that up at the top, Leo is getting some serious damage onto that bell tower, and it seems like he's likely going to take it. I don't think that anybody can be up there in time to deal with him. The bot lane might be retaken, but either way it's going to be a 5-3 situation for the blue team, and that means a single altar later on would end the game in favor of the Clowns. They're trying to get another kill here, couldn't quite. Death Knight still pushing them away. Yeah, Gia nearly getting another kill. Oh, this is dirty. The Hogger trying to defend the top, and he is pulling it off. I'm actually surprised that Leoric didn't take it. Intentional delay? Could be. But either way, they're about to hit level 20. Altars are activating. It's a double altar. And the bot lane has been retaken, but they can easily take the top now. Which is what they're gonna do. And of course we're gonna have level 20 in time for them. 48,000 damage. Fully Ming, benefiting from those resets. And yeah, well, there's the hook. They're trying to force that fight before the level 20 is available. But there it is. We got the World Breaker. Alright, World Breaker's in, already used. And Tomb has been utilized as well. Leo the first one to fall in the fight. If they can trade his death, that would be great, but they can't. And now they're losing the War Chief as well. So that's 2 heroes down. Those Storm Talents did nothing for them. Absolutely nothing. And since they failed to take this one a bit earlier, it means that the Haka is now getting 4 shots fired for them. Tyrande has fallen though. The fight isn't over yet. And Gia is crushing it. Gia is absolutely crushing it. He gets another reset here. Comes in for Nacrom. And he is just jumping around them. Popping them like pimples. One hit after another. Playing Heroes of the Storm Whack-A-Mole. As he gets 1 kill after the next. 4 kills already. They want to go for the 5-man wipe. They barely failed to pull it off, but all that they need now is the altar and the bell tower. Bell tower has to be taken, and then they can end the game right here, right now. And Nubarak claims it. Leo is back, he channels, and as they are chasing the Haka, Leo is ending their game. Full 5-man team wipe. As Swamgrotta completes the channels, the shots are fired, and the blue team takes game number 2 in the best of 5 series. GG. Game number 3, here we are everybody! Infernal Shrines and a 2-0 lead for the favorites. We got the Circus Clowns with their first match point against La Crusade. So, off we go. Obviously, by now there's 30 heroes that can't be picked anymore. And, well, this could lead to some interesting choices now. First, with Sylvanas banned on Infernal Shrines, of course means that some of the push strategies are right off the get-go not available any longer. After having watched the previous match of La Crusade, I am not surprised whatsoever that we now get Mephisto banned as the first ban from the Circus Clowns. So, yep, there we go. I would probably ban him too. They put a number on their opponents with that hero. But yeah, that was insane. I mean, Mephisto is obviously fantastic on this map. And Make, the OG, when he started to introduce Mephisto to the competitive scene, has always played him right there. We also have bans on some of the supports, on the remaining supports, and we still have a few available. You have Morales, I believe Alexstrasza is still up. You could go for Deckard Cain. But the pool there is getting a bit smaller. So if you don't pick your supporter at the beginning, you might actually find out that your opponent is going to ban another one just to force your hand a little bit and force you into a certain direction with all of that. But yeah, first pick in game 3 for the French team. It is Gul'dan. Good point. We haven't seen Gul'dan yet. I totally forgot about him. Not gonna lie. So yes, Gul'dan as the first pick. Not a bad choice. Gul'dan is sometimes even played in normal meta games. Not a ton, but we've seen him played. I believe he also was picked a couple of times at the Heroes International in Miami last year. So, okay. Kind of blanked on him, I gotta say. We got some Kel'Thas, we got Jaina, but Gul'dan, to my knowledge, this is the first time that he gets played in the group stage here. And Tacita! Another one! Yeah, Tacita and Tyrael. Alright. I like that. It's actually pretty cool. We got Tacita in the house. And there's a couple of... I mean, I knew that there were not all heroes were picked yet. There were quite a few that haven't been chosen yet. But honestly, in my head, I was always looking for heroes, you know, like Asmodan that hasn't seen any play yet, and a few others. Samuro hasn't been played yet either. But someone like Tacita and Gul'dan, they completely slipped my mind. Now we get Medivh and we have Alexstrasza. So you already have some really nice combos that they can execute here on the side of La Crusade. Me likey. Yeah, I'm very interested in what they are going to bust out with this. They played Alexstrasza obviously in the previous series on Infernal Shrines already. And back then I suppose that the idea was to go for Stitches since he was one of the few remaining tanks, but he got picked away. Now they can not pick him because he already got played on the last map. So he's out, so they have to combo it off with someone else. Garrosh gets banned too, so your frontline picks are a bit more limited at this point. But they could also go for the Cho'Gall pick. I mean, I already teased that a little bit in the previous match. And there it didn't quite work out. But here it could be an option. You have a Medivh, you have an Alexstrasza. You could go Cho'Gall. Is Mephisto... not Mephisto. Tychus has been played, I believe. Leo... I have to double check, honestly. There's so many games that have been played over the last 2 days that I'm not quite sure what was picked in the last one. They go at Tannis and Reyna. So they're expecting a Cho'Gall too. They're expecting a Cho'Gall pick here. So they're going for a Tannis and they're going for Reyna, showing a little bit of percentage damage and also some swap potential, of course. That's actually a very cool one. They are pretty much throwing the gauntlet out there. They're just saying, like, we see your draft. We know what you could do. Let's see if you're still willing to commit if we go for this one. And what do you know? Turns out that La Crusade is not pulling for it. They are going Mal'Ganis, they're going Illidan. Nagrom played Illidan already previously, but yeah, they definitely had options. And of course, Cho'Gall is always something that's in the back of your head and just lingers there. So we'll see. Morales as well. Off we go. She is put into play together with Jimmy, so she can go easily for some extra attack speed for our boy here with the stim drone. And we head for Infernal Shrines, which is the first match point for the Circus Clowns. Let's see if La Crusade can start with a reverse sweep on the third match of the series. Game number 3, the Circus Clowns. Also, I've been calling for that backdoor strategy for quite some time now, and this is actually nearly a perfect setup for them here. So not only did they really make some of the optional picks for La Crusade very unattractive, but also they have now an actual backdoor strat that they can use. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Even Artanis fitting quite well into this because of his ult. So we get Swamp Grotto on Artanis, Death Knight on Morales, Skuk on Tacita, Gia is playing Reyna, and we got Lauba on Tyrael. To the right side of the map, La Crusade with Vili on Medivh, Panda Colada on Gul'dan, Guilty Spark on Alexstrasza, Play on Mal'Ganis, and Nagrom on Illidan. So if there's still some poor souls that don't know how the strategy works, quick explanation. You're trying to play with your opponent until level 10 on eye level, and you try to ensure that you're not falling behind too far. But the whole idea is that once that level 10 is hit, what you do is you use Morales not with Stim Drone, you're actually going for a Medivac, and then you fly to the opponent's keep with the entire team. You use the Sanctification to guarantee that you can take the keep down. Reyna in this case uses the Hyperion. You can also use the ult on Artanis to give you a few more seconds if your opponent is trying to defend. And your whole goal is to take the keep apart. So you're absolutely okay if your entire team gets wiped. You just want to kill the keep. Once the keep is down, you just continue to use the same backdoor strategy to attack the opponent's core and kill it eventually. Now, obviously, to achieve that, you also have to take a fort down, which is why you're focusing traditionally on one single lane and try to destroy the fort there. But this is something that has been played in competitive tournaments, actually. So we've seen this in the context of HGC, but in the context of Meta Madness, where you have, in addition to that, a lot of heroes banned that would traditionally be picked to counter that, you can really make a lot of headway. Now, there are, of course, a couple of counters on the side of La Crusade already that they can use in order to stop that from happening. And the most important one in that context would be Medivh and Gul'dan. Gul'dan with a Horrify, because he can just push anybody away from that core or from the keep, and Medivh with the ley line. Now, some of this can obviously easily be countered by a Sanctification, but it's all about the timing there for sure. But you can really tell that there are tons of options. And of course, you can also try and go for a straight-up game, if that's more to your liking. In this case, already, we have massive fights over every single camp. And with a 2-0 lead, the Clowns, of course, want to finish the series out here. But now a Death Knight dies on Morales. Illidan goes in deep, but Lauber still dies. So, 2 kills to 1. Nicely done. Yeah, with that, we now have topside. Svamgrotta still pressuring this, still getting experience for the team. We have Jimmy down at the bottom of the map, still soaking it up for them. Medivh is doing a very good job stacking, at least initially, so he's already at 24. Willy might have an early quest completion. Has to, of course, ensure that he's not getting crushed. And there are a few tools that could lock it down, but still. We got the fight or flight over here. Illidan is trying to push this out too. But there's definitely now a couple of options for the blue team to do more damage. And of course, as I said before, what they really need to do is also poke away at the structure so that they eventually take down a fort so they can actually attack the core. Now, in this case, beautiful grenade by Morales. Damn. Yeah, that one was sexy. Beautiful grenade. They're all moving down to the bot lane now, and already they are getting damage on the fort itself. Keep in mind, that's what they gotta do. They gotta take one of the forts out, and that is what we're seeing here. So they are fully committed to this. They don't care about the objective. They let Gul'dan take it, and La Crusade, they know what's coming. They absolutely know. Every player that has competitive experience, that has been in the scene for a long time, has at one point or another either encountered this strategy or at least watch it happen somewhere else. So while Gul'dan takes the objective, we're having a lot of pressure at the bottom fort. You want to soften this up. Level 7 kicks in for both, but you can tell they're only interested in taking this fort. It's the only thing they want here. They're willing to sacrifice quite a bit for it, but the goal is take that fort down. And the defense is there. Mal'Ganis is coming in, they're defending with 3. Gul'dan is pushing in the middle. After Tannis has been rotating between the lanes and pushed out another wave at the top, he's now going towards the mid lane too to use the amateur opponent to take the Punisher down. And Illidan dies. So they are ahead in experience and in a very, very good position to make the strategy happen eventually. Svamgrotta is defending. That's where his level 1 talent kicks in. Super important. And Medivh is about to complete his quest. Yeah, he's done. 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, and he is done with his quest. At the bot lane, more damage. Gul'dan in a bit of trouble. Portals are still coming out. They're trying to make a move for Reyna, and Jimmy is dead. Not even Morales can keep him alive. Jimmy down. Morales gets pinged immediately. It's like, dude, why did you shift over to me sooner? They're getting closer and closer to level 10 now, and then it's all about trying to take keeps and core apart. Whereas, of course, for La Crusade, it's all about anticipating when and where the opponent makes their move, and then go in, use the ley line, use the Horrify, and really just try and stop them from destroying these structures. Because eventually you're going to run out of steam. The blue team needs to do damage. But eventually, when there is a big gap in experience, and the big talent gap in particular for La Crusade, it's going to be more and more difficult for them to make that play. And since you expect to lose your entire team, or most of them, every time to make that move, you will fall behind very heavily. But it's all trading that in for massive value on the structures, and that's what they're going to try and do here. But they're already doing a pretty good job. I mean, again, if you think about it, they have, of course, suffered some losses here in the middle where the fort is now very low, but at the same time, this one has also nearly been destroyed. So they're still playing on even footing with their opponent. Here comes also the suppression pulse, super important if you want to buy yourself some additional seconds. We have, as expected, now the medevac. And it's all about vision. And that's, of course, where Medivh is so annoying. Because they want, at some point, out of sight, just jump into a dropship. Medivh is going to prevent that from happening, but he has to move. They're immediately coming in, everybody else moving back. This keep is gone. No chance of saving this anymore. This keep is gone 100%. They still should move back a little bit quicker, though. But yeah, you can't save this one anymore. So there's the Horrify, countered by the Sanctification. Leyline is out, keeps gone, and now it's just, can you save somebody or do a little bit more damage? So they can try and get away here, but the entire team is gonna get wiped. Yeah, Svamgrotta hoping that he can escape through the wall and buy a little bit more time for them. Yeah, Tassadar is also gonna fall. Svamgrotta, he might even make it out here. So they are at least escaping with one. 4 heroes have fallen in the middle. The fort is going to get destroyed. But, ooh, actually Svamgrotta nearly died too. And they are, of course, back. So it's 7 kills to 3. You can see that all of these kills have now resulted. Look at the experience distribution. Lot more XP for the team. Oh, I think that wasn't really needed. Yeah, moving in there again, that was probably not needed, but it is what it is. Alright, so they still need to take a fort down. They still have to take a fort down. That still needs to happen. Artanis has fallen. We have 5,000 experience points now for them. And that means we have an entire level lead. In addition to that, it's another objective that they likely will have to give up now. But it's all about these backdoors. And the Medivac is back up, but they have to wait also for the Sanctification to come back. They have to wait for Archon, they want to wait for the Hyperion, and then they can make their move. And as I already explained a bit earlier, they need to take this keep down. Sorry, that fort down. That is not optional. You have to take it down before you can attack the core. And that's something that La Crusade perfectly well knows. So they're just moving in and they're killing them as they're trying to make that play. Tyrael is coming in, sacrifices his life, is going to get the explosion on it and the minion wave, I might add. But it's not enough to destroy this one. So this is the big linchpin right now. Taking the fort down. As long as the fort is still there, you are not gonna go for the core. Level 13 versus level 12 in a second, a 1.5 level lead. But this is the danger with this strategy. You're losing control of the game as it continues. But once that this fort is gone, they can just attack the core over and over again. There's no mule here. So there's a big problem for the red team, but they're dealing well with it. They're dealing very well with it. They have nearly destroyed the fort in the middle of the map, and they're now destroying the fort at the bottom without any problems whatsoever. So this one's gone. Yeah, Morales flies in, so they're backdooring, not with the entire team. But they're going in. Hunt has been used too. The fort is gonna fall, but well, so is the team. So they're sacrificing their life just to get that fort destroyed. Jimmy might be able to escape, and yes, he makes it out. But as this is happening, the bottom of the map is still getting attacked. So right now they're in this awkward position where they themselves have taken the keep, but they might lose their own keep now too. That's the big problem. If they would have taken this fort earlier, if they could have been able to destroy it previously, this would have been a completely different ballgame. But now they sacrificed so much to make this happen, and it's all backfiring, because they lose their own keep. So structurally, the two teams are now in the identical position, but it's a 12-kill gap in favor of La Crusade that allows them to get a massive lead in experience. And now the defense on the core, because Illidan is already on it. La Crusade wants to win this one. They want to take it, and they're looking good right now. The defense is not going to be easy. They're doing their best, but the core is losing hit points quickly, and Illidan is just putting a number on this thing. So right now, they're doing their best to defend, but it is not looking good whatsoever for Circus Clowns. Here's the attack. The core is at 20, and this is likely gonna be all she wrote. Game and victory for La Crusade as they put a point on the board and take the Circus Clowns down on Infernal Shrines. Game number 4. First time that we have a fourth game in Group A. Now again, Obviously, in a group stage, you assume that there's going to be a lot of one-sided matches. That's why we're having a group stage in the first place. We want to determine the 2 best teams out of the 4 that play in each group to advance to the playoffs. But it's still kind of cool that between these 2 that are currently fighting for the number 1 and the number 2 position in that group, in Group A here at Meta Madness, that we're now getting a 4th map. Because that means that right now we have 40 heroes that are banned. 40 heroes that are not available any longer for these teams. And now, of course, the 6 heroes that are now getting banned in the draft itself. But yeah, now it's going to get real funny. It was actually kind of interesting to see that backdoor strategy fail. It was really unfortunate for them that they couldn't take that fort down sooner. If the fort was gone, I think they would have won that game. You can literally just YOLO over and over again against the core, and even if you don't kill it in the first attempt, you just go for it again once that you have your cooldowns ready. But it was also very smartly played by La Crusade. They had, of course, good heroes against this too. Bringing the ley line into play, using the Horrify really helped them, especially when they were defending their fort. But yeah, very well done by the red team, and yeah, totally deserved victory on the 3rd map. So they're starting an attempt at a reverse sweep now. And let's see what kind of heroes we're walking away with this time. I mean, it's Tomb. There's a couple of different things that you really could pull out here. I mentioned earlier that some of the heroes that we haven't seen yet include Probius and also Asmodan. And they would not be too shitty here. You could actually do that. Now, we are starting things off with a Nazebo first pick, so it's already going to be a good game right from the get-go. If you come in for the Vile Infection, you can do really enormous damage in the late game, and we might get to that point. But, of course, the teams have now to also be a little bit careful, because it's really reducing your pool. That's a very solid start, though. A Garrosh-Jaina rotation in the 1-2. Garrosh was banned multiple times against them, but now they have an opportunity to use him together with Jaina, so that's actually a very, very solid start. And I believe Zarya is also still up for this particular game. So you could go Garrosh Zarya. Yeah, that is pretty sweet. Now, Ana and Zagara, they are going all out on the push power here. I mean, Ana with Nazebo is already great. Zagara for more wave clear, also fantastic. But Zarya with Garrosh and Jaina, that could really help you to get a lot of kills. Once that you have the speed bubble on level 4 and Garrosh can just run into the opponent's team and prep kills for Jaina, that's great. And the ETC ban is also a smart one. ETC is very, very good against Garrosh, and it's one of the heroes that Lauber loves to play. So, yeah, let's see. Here comes Deckard. Yeah, Deckard Kane gets banned. What does that leave us with supports? Who's still up? Who am I missing here? Whitemane. Whitemane is up. Yeah, she's still available, so you could go for Whitemane. There should be a bit more available, if I'm not completely mistaken. But yeah, Whitemane... Yeah, of course, duh. I mean, Karazim, Lily, tons of choices. But Whitemane is also still... Oriel, another good one. And there's the Zarya pick, I like it. So they went for Zarya. This is a nasty team composition. I'm not quite sure if the Circus Clowns realized what it was still on the board here, because their draft is great when it comes to pushing the lanes, but I'm not really sure that it holds up to what the red team is currently bringing to the fort. We have Zagara, Nazebo, and Gazlo right now. Yeah, that's kind of nasty. The Gas Lord. I mean, they can push every single lane here, and if Nazebo makes it in the late game, that's still a problem. But the final pick for the red team as the Frenchies round out their draft, it is Zul. Didn't think about him either. Yeah, Zul is in the house too, so even more wave clear for them. That's a very good composition for the red team. This is actually really difficult to break through. I'm not quite sure if the Circus Clowns can pull it off. We might look at a 5th game here. Tumor Spider Queen, everybody. So let's head straight in and see if the red team can continue their little winning streak here, or if the Circus Clowns are converting the second match point into a victory in this best of 5. Game number 4, the Circus Clowns on the left side. Here in Group A of Meta Madness with Swamgrotta on Gazlo, Death Knight on Ana, Gia is playing Zagara, we got Lauba on Mei, and Skok is playing Nezebo. To the right side of the map, the French team with Vili on Zarya, Play on Zul, Guilty Spark on Oriel, Nagrom on Garrosh, and Panda Colada is playing Jaina. Okay, this is gonna be a spicy game. We have a super interesting composition for the blue team. I'm just not so sure that this can really hold a candle to the draft that we're seeing from La Crusade. So, very interesting, but in regards to combo potential and also teamfight potential, it just seems that La Crusade has the better heroes. Now, time will tell, but after level 4, when Zarya has the speed bubble, Garrosh is gonna become an absolute menace and very difficult to deal with. We got the Thing of the Deep for Nezebo, and we will have to wait and see if he can maybe rotate between the lanes well enough to get so many stacks together that with level 20, he's just getting an insane amount of damage out. A little bit stuck over there, are we? Yeah, okay, so they're trying to go for a quick kill here. Of course, Zagara is also a bit on the squishy side, but they are still putting the damage out on Garrosh. And nearly got a kill there. Zul, he is the one that can easily rotate between the lanes for La Crusade, whereas the Circus Clowns are already putting some creep onto the map. Oriel trying to deal with the tumors as best as she can, as you can see there. But yeah, down to the bottom of the map, we got it in the meantime. Swamgrotta. A little bit locked down here, but the camps are now up too. 15 stacks together. Thing of the Deep, spell power is obviously pretty nice. It was still amusing to me. At some point, Blizzard, what was it? I think Blizzard had it so that you got an additional 20% spell power or something like that. It's always amazing to me because when I saw that talent for the first time, I was immediately saying, this is the most broken shit I've seen in my life. And there were, as usual, some people that were trying to actually defend this and be like, nah, this is balanced. I was like, yeah, dummies. And obviously Nezebo absolutely dominated for a while. It was ridiculous the amount of damage that guy could put out from the early stages onwards. So yeah, right now this got a bit reduced, but it's still fairly powerful. And of course, one of the main reasons is that it gives you a certain level of safety since it increases your abilities. So you don't have to get that close to Garrosh anymore. But keep in mind that now that we have the speed barrier here, he can just run into the team, flip a target over and go for it. And in the meantime, we got the repeated offense. So Guilty Spark, I mean, he's been training for this game in his little sex dungeon his entire life. So he's been wielding that whip time and time again. Every single weekend, the man has been in the basement just whipping it out. And so he's going to be on point with that. I mean, he's French. That's already some inherent talent that he has inherited right there. It's a cultural thing. But let's see if you can really full-on unleash the power of Oriel in this game to whip your opponent into shape. And of course, set a couple of kill up. You get a good flip with Garrosh and then a nice whip from Oriel, and all of a sudden, Bob's your uncle. Level 1, by the way, stacking up with the Demolitions expert over here. Nezebo still trying to get his thing as well. Zul is already fighting it out down at the bottom of the map. Whereas the rotation between mid and top is so far, I mean, pretty much dominated by La Crusade, I'd say. They're doing well here. You don't want to run into that Garrosh lineup, especially if Jaina can burn you down. But yep, that's exactly what we're experiencing there. The whip missed. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed. The kill is still coming through for them, so good on ya. But Lauba gets those gems, so they're not losing them. But Guilty Spark, I mean, that's an F, my friend. Yeah, that was the first chance to really bask in the glory of the audience with a well-connected whip, and then he just failed it. So, yeah, we expected a little bit more here. All that training going to waste, apparently. It's a shame. But he'll have another chance. I still believe in him. I still believe in him. So, yeah, no whip yet. Alright, Mei is in. There's the flip, and bam! Mei is dead. This is exactly what I'm a bit afraid of, that this is going to continue throughout the entire game, and that it will allow the red team to just take fuller control here. It's a nice little play that they're executing to try and take Garrosh down, but even with the wall of zombies, it's just not working for them. So they're trying to go for Zul, but they obviously now lost Mei and a fair amount of their thingies, their gems, which is a bit of a problem. So this will be a tricky game. This will be a really difficult game. This should be the first objective already in favor of La Crusade. Pretty sure they're gonna get this in a moment or two. 56 stacks for Nazeebo. And as usual with this build, he went also straight into the Dead Rush over here. But they're trying to turn in their own gems, but that's also going to be difficult. Another flip. Nazeebo turns it around. Nice, good sleep dart too. That's a fair amount of damage, so Garrosh has to be careful. Yeah, if those spiders are nibbling, you might be in trouble. So job well done. But the red web weavers are still going to touch ground first. So getting the web weavers in, everybody is heading back here. And for me personally, it's really a question of whether or not we're going to see Nazeebo in the late game. Because currently he's at 63 stacks. That's not shabby. That's already pretty alright. If he can keep that speed up, he's definitely going to complete that. And together with the big bad Voodoo over here, or the big Voodoo, he gets the bonuses on the health and mana pool as well. So they need to burn all of this down. They got a lot of wave clear, obviously. So they got a ton of that. Now, it's a bit of a leading experience for La Crusade. But can they defend this quickly enough? They're already trying on the web weavers. Garrosh is over and over again looking for opportunities to provide a kill to the rest of the team. But it hasn't really worked out for him yet. He's always flipping the minions over. Decent defense in the middle. But with Zarya, they can also siege up. Yeah, Mei also. Well done. Another whip that missed. Guilty Spark. I'm disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm just a little bit disappointed. So I expected so much more from you. Zagara has dealt with the top lane. Red team is nearly on level 10. And they still got 37 gems, so they could turn in a decent amount. 70 in the hands of the Circus Clowns, who have not turned in a single gem yet. This is going to change as Gia is committing the 20 that he's been holding. Good creep spread also at the top. Aegis is in now on level 10 with the heroic abilities. We're getting, in addition to that, also the Warlord's Challenge. And we get the Ring of Frost. Now, level 10 is in play with Devouring Maw. We got the Robo-Goblin. With the Robo-Goblin, he can also... I mean, at some point, you can really chunk that boss down, by the way. You have Nazeebo, you have Robo-Goblin Gazlo, you got a Zagara. You could actually sneak that at some point. Not yet, but that is an option later in the game. That also might even be a kill. Aegis used. Ring and Jaina with a big boy damage. Jaina ripping them a new one. Zarya still died. Lauba's trying to get out. This time the whip connected. But boy, oh boy, did Jaina just crush them. Very nicely done. And Lauba is dead. Killed by minion flip. Now they get a kill down here at the bottom of the map and they might be able to turn their own gems in. But oh boy, that was quite the play. Here's another quick look at it. So they go for Zarya, as you can see, and they try to take her down, and then Jaina just says, "Not on my watch!" Jumps in and just brutalizes half the team. Very well done. The ring was on point, and yeah, she just crushed them there. So it's 5 kills to 2. The fort in the middle nearly lost. Nazeebo is getting closer and closer to complete his level 1 quest, and he's at 90 stacks now, so yeah, here comes the Maw. Obviously, they're hoping for a few kills themselves. They haven't seen a turn in yet either. And Garrosh is actually getting crushed here. The Aegis is keeping him in. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he dies regardless. So job well done. 3 kills to 5. And that is giving the blue team a little bit more wiggle room on the map and also an opportunity to turn their gems in and get the first objective for themselves. Nice. That was well played. So despite all the assists that he's getting here, Garrosh at the front still needs to be very cautious or he's going to be crushed. A little bit similar to what we're seeing from Auriel here. She was also in trouble for a moment. The turn-in, by the way, hasn't happened yet. They're still trying to turn this one in. And they are interrupting over and over very well with also Zarya just volleying one grenade after another to ensure that the turn-in isn't happening whatsoever. They need a single gem and they just can't get it. Now they're moving Nazeebo to the top to finally deal with it. And now it's working. In addition to that, we have level 13 talents on the side of the red team. Nazeebo is sitting at 100 stacks. Keep in mind that also completes the quest. So now he has full access to all of it. And yeah, it's really interesting here. Since he's just keeping the stacks up with 107, he should easily be able to get to the 175 by the time he hits his level 20. And
level 20 is definitely a realistic goal. They are on even footing with the opponent. There's no lead in experience currently for La Crusade. I really like the way that they're playing this. Yeah, I like this a lot. So this is looking very good for them. Top side is getting pressured by Nazeebo using his spells against the structures. That's working well too. Down at the bottom of the map, they're also doing their thing. I was very skeptical about their composition compared to what we are seeing from La Crusade here, but this is looking fairly alright now. If they can keep on eye level with the opponent, at least in experience, then in the late game they have a pretty big chance. So once again, we're having the attacks at the bot lane doing some additional damage, and just look at Garrosh struggling here. Gets the heals from Oriel. I mean, she's been working overtime, but here comes Jaina. Mei is down. They want another kill, and they might still get it. Jaina is low, and she gets dropped by Nazeebo. Gazlo is dead, though. Zagara. Oh, she dies. Nice. That shield, that speed boost came just in time. Ana gets also hit hard, and that's 4 heroes down. Very, very nice turn of events here in favor of La Crusade. The Frenchies now with another turn in that they can get for themselves. They just need to deliver with Zul, and they do. It's actually not quite true. They need 1 additional gem, but I assume that's not going to be a problem. But that was very well done. And that might just be what they needed here, because it gave them a massive boost in experience. It gives them map control. They get another turn-in. They can destroy the fort in the middle. And they will likely be able, through that turn-in, to get another fort destroyed. So this is exactly the kind of plays that they need to execute. Brutal fight. Camps are taken. Web Beavers are going to be descending. Again, Nazeebo in the late game, still a force to be reckoned with, and the red team is aware of that. So they know that in an ideal world, they would start to establish a gap. And since they can now push with an objective and level 16, this is looking good. Oriel with 5 stacks towards her level 4. In addition to that, we also got now the Numbing Blast. And they're poking. Garrosh with another flip, ring and kill. Down they go. That's a kill against Zagara. Mei barely surviving. Gazlo and Nazeebo, on the other hand, they turn it around on Oriel and take the support out. Oriel has been eliminated. Garrosh is insanely low. Given the fact that they don't have level 16 for that fight, that's not too shabby. Lauba is once again in the thick of things, but it also leads to Garrosh nearly falling here. Mei has been eliminated. They go for Gazlo. For Gazlo, and he has to run away with Ana. They lose the bottom fort. They're also going to lose the fort at the top. They've been doing a good job defending, at least initially, but obviously there is just so much pressure on all the lanes against them now that it's really difficult to get a foothold. With level 16, they, for now, get the Soul Harvest. We have Zagara with the Corrosive Saliva. So all of her, I mean, it's going to be tough. Forts on the red team side are still looking very good. It's 5 kills to 11, and apparently they're even thinking about going for the boss now, which has been figured out very quickly by the circus clowns. So they're scouting this out, and they can now try and contest that. But it is a wild game. So here it is. 16 is in for the blue team. They're trying their best here. The ice wall is out. They're starting to make the play. Zagara with the 16 can try and go for it now too, as we have the overclock from Gazlo. Just looking at the damage numbers, by the way, we get Zagara on 40,000 damage. Nazeebo is sitting pretty at 32. That will all change if he makes it to level 20. Gazlo himself on 39,000, 40,000. And yeah, the battle continues. And look at Jaina. If they can kill her, that would be big. The ice block is out already. Zarya is also in trouble, and he dies. She dies first. Zarya is down, and now with the Ravenous Spirit, even more damage done by Nazeebo, but not enough to drop Jaina. But that 1 kill was already a lot of relief that you just got from this. And with 58 gems in their hands, they can get another turn in. If they can combo that off with another kill, that would be even better. Jaina, so much damage, but it's Garrosh that dies. They save Zagara, and now Jaina is dead. And that is big. 3 heroes down. That's the opportunity that they needed. They're trying to stagger additional deaths, and yes, they go for Oriel, and she doesn't stand a chance here. Massive amount of damage right now, and what a fantastic play by the Circus Clowns. Not only do they get structural damage here in the middle, they can turn in, they can get another Web Weaver wave. More importantly, they have made massive steps forward in experience and map control. So they are starting to bring themselves back into a position where they could claim another victory in this series, and therefore also win the match. Skog and Death Knight at the bottom of the map. Siege Giants were taken by them. Now we have another camp about to be claimed. Web Weavers are gonna touch ground. Fort at the top, very low. In the middle, the same picture, even lower. And all that they need is one level. Look at Nazebo. Nazebo is currently at 170 stacks here for the Voodoo Ritual. He is absolutely in tip-top shape to dominate the late game. With level 20, it's going to be brutal what La Crusade has to endure. Now, we already expect that multiple of these forts will fall. So structurally, Circus Clowns are catching up, and they're going to get a lot of experience with these pressure plays as well. Half a level until 20. There's the ice wall. It's a beautiful wall. I'm so proud of it. It's the best wall. Everybody said so. Didn't do anything, though. Didn't prevent anybody. Just got thrown over it, so that's all that happened. But now, with the pressure in the middle and Gazlo still soaking up experience at the bottom of the map, it's pretty much inevitable. Level 20 is going to hit here, and Gazlo, he has his stacks. And he didn't go for it! Annihilating Spirit, I hate you. I hate you so much. I don't care if you think that's the better talent. I wanna see Vile Infection. I'm unhappy. I'm very unhappy. Vile Infection, no matter, like, yes, Annihilating Spirit is insane. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I want to have the Vile Infection. So that's just me. At least we're seeing that it's raining scraps here. I was actually looking for the Mecha Lord, but that's not even it either. So yeah, I feel triggered. I honestly feel triggered. Like all that build up, and then they're like, nah, not happening. So yeah, Insta report. 9 kills to 11. Team is still looking great. Both teams have a level 20 now. We got the Mortal Wound over here and the Cold Snap for the cooldown reduction. So here we are. Yeah, look at him. Mr. Speed over here, rushing in and rushing to his death. He came, he saw, and he ran and he died. So easy one, but Anna goes down, and that might stop this entire play. Mei, she doesn't make it either. Jaina is turning on them and is crushing one hero after another with the 60,000 damage that she has also brought in right here. Well done. Nazebo is down. On the right side, we now get Swam Grotta isolated, so after 3 heroes die, he's going to be the 4th. He's trying to somehow get some value and maybe get a kill themselves. That's not happening. So with 15 kills to 10, we are now looking at a red team that could very well turn this game again. They were on the chopping block just a second ago. They lost all of their forts, they were pressured on the keeps. Now they took 4 heroes down with only losing Garrosh, and that means that they can easily go for the boss, take it down, and then get a turn in as well. They got all they need for it. They got 61 gems, they need 60, and here is the big opportunity to make the play that could end the game. Get the boss, 18-minute mark, it's a big boy, and then also go for the turn in. 40 gems have already been delivered. They could hit the top lane hard. They're already pushing the rest of the lanes out to make sure that they can attack on multiple fronts. And the defense for the Circus Clowns, not impossible. Not by any means. I mean, think about the heroes that they have. They have Nazebo, they have Gazlo, they got Zagara. They can defend this. But is it going to be happening? Is it happening? Is the question. Because right now, you still have to consider that Gazlo is at least going to get one run-up with Zarya, where he can flip somebody in. So, let's see what they can do with that. Either way, at this point, 10 to 15. See what they can pull off at the top. Can they maybe get some kills here? Timing is nearly perfect. Still 50% of the HP are available. And Zagara gets popped in an instant. Ravenous Spirit gets used. And, well, he has to abandon it very quickly. Even with the nano boost of Ana, He had to cancel that one right away. I got, I think, 3 full seconds out of it, and that was about it. But this is not looking too great for the Circus Clowns. They might lose this game. This could be a reverse sweep. We might see game number 5. There's the flip, there's the hit. Lauber is about to go down. He's killed, and I think with him, the hopes of the blue team to end this game with a victory die. The keep in the middle is about to be destroyed. Over here, the core is attacked, loses its shield, and the hit points are dropping quickly. Nice damage from Glaslow with a 73,000, but being top damage in the game does not guarantee a victory. It is indeed the red team that puts another point onto the board and forces their final map in this best of 5. Nicely done. GG and well played. Game number 5, the final map. I have to admit, I did not expect us to be in this position after the 2-0 advantage for the Circus Clowns, but well played. La Crusade, they are on the verge of making a reverse sweep happen. So we are now in the final map of this series in the group stage. The match that is going to decide whether or not or which one of the teams is going to get the number 1 and the number 2 spot. That's pretty much what's on the line here. Do you get into the playoffs with a top seed position or not? And now we have 50 heroes banned in total, which makes this really interesting. Especially the tanks have been hit hard. There's only 2 tanks remaining. ETC and Arthur's. Those are the only 2 tanks that are still up for grabs. And they could, of course, address that in the ban phase now as well. Now, there are, of course, a couple of bruisers that you can also play in the main tank position, but let's just say that some of the options have been severely limited at this point. Sylvanas gets banned again. We also have Alarak taken out. When it comes to supports, we still have a few up, by the way. So we still got a few healers that could be played here. And, yeah, gotta see what exactly gets taken away, but very interested in what's happening now in the draft. Zeratul, we've seen a couple of these heroes already banned in previous games, so it stands to reason that they would go for the same again. First we have Alarak taken out, Zeratul is eliminated, Lucio also removed off the board, and there's the ETC pick. As I said, Arthurs and ETC, they're the only 2 that are available. ETC was addressed in the last ban phase on map number 4. Lauber has been an ETC one-trick for like ages. Before Lauber really made his first splash in the scene, he was known for his ETC plays. Very similar to Breeze. ETC was his main and go-to hero. So pretty cool to see him on the hero again. But that's a very solid pick for them this late in the game. In addition to that, we now have Deckard Cain and Lunara taken very early on here in Battlefield of Eternity. Very nice poke, obviously, with Lunara against the Immortal. And generally speaking, just good damage overall. Very hyped for this one. Yeah, and they go for Urel and Karazim. I like that a lot. Bruisers, there's still a few available, but Urel is probably out of the entire bruiser pool that is still up the most interesting and the most impactful, and comboing her off with ETC makes a whole lot of sense here. We have Suljin banned out, but let's see what the red team is trying to do. I very much like their draft for the 4th map, but what can they pull off now? Especially what are they going to run at the front? Do they go for Arthurs? Is Arthur something that the Circus Clowns would now even ban out? Or do they more so look towards the Bruisers and think about, hey, what could be dangerous there? And they actually ban Rexa. So Rexa gets banned out. Cho'Gall is still up, by the way. I kind of forgot about him. But Cho'Gall is still available. Is that something that you would pick here, though? And they decide not to. They go for Samuro. Samuro and Deathwing. Okay, I like it. Samuro and Deathwing are in the house. Oh boy. And the final one over here. What are we getting? What is Skorg picking? What is Gia picking? We need damage for them. We definitely need something that can now park a punch here. It's Sophia and Phoenix. Alright. Sophia and Phoenix both in. And, well, with that, we have Nagrom as the final one to choose. Final map. Again, this is all coming down to Battlefield of Eternity. This is the final map in this series. The winner takes first spot in Group A here at Meta Madness. The loser takes second. It's all on the line for these two. La Crusade has made a huge effort to bring this to a conclusion on map 5, and they go for the remaining tank. They go for Arthas on the final pick. Here we go, everybody. Battlefield of Eternity. The final game of the series. The Circus Clowns with Svamgrotta on Urel. We have Death Knight on Karazim. Phoenix is playing Skok. The other way around. And Lauba is playing ETC with Gia on Orphea. We got the schoolgirl in the house again. On the right side, it's Willy on Deathwing, Playun Samuro. Guilty Spark for the French team is playing Deckard Kane. Panda Colada on Lunara. And Nagrom is playing Arthas. Okay, time to shine. Let's get the show on the road. Once again, quick reminder, guys, this all would not be possible without the people supporting the channel and all of these events on Patreon. So if you're interested to join, support us, patreon.com/Khaldor. And a big shout out to all the people supporting us over there. Without you, this would not be a thing. So thank you very much. Level 1 talents. We now get the Dragon Soul here for the Dragon. Very fitting. Arthur's already moving in, slowing them down a little bit. He can play against Karazim to an extent, but as I already said as we ended the draft, ETC and Arthur's were the only two real tanks. Now, you could obviously try and... Oh, and talking about Arthur's, he's dead immediately. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they didn't ban ETC, because Lauba, as I explained during the draft phase, is known for his ETC plays, and it was quite surprising that ETC was one of the tanks that was still available there. So giving that one over to Lauba was not something that I had in that had down on my bingo card. So now they're already taking a stab at Arthas and kill him. Gia gets attacked here, the first tower has fallen, and that bot lane in general is just not doing very well. Keep in mind how we got there. The Circus Clowns actually took a 2-0 lead over La Crusade. Some of those games were close, granted, but it really seemed that the blue team would walk away with a 3-0 here for quite a long time. And now we are looking at a potential reverse sweep in this one. So, pretty insane. Now, Samura at the top lane, he's always a little bit of an X-factor and can be an absolute nuisance to the opposing team. We'll see what they can do there. Willy gets a little bit blocked, and yeah, Deathwing, he's a bit chubby. He's a little bit on the fat side. He is having huge troubles getting past those heroes, so he got body blocked hard, and that led to Deathwing dying and Arthas getting killed second. So that's 3 kills to 0. But the bigger problem is, I mean, Deckard Kane is also down. See ya, Boomer. So he's gone. But that's 4 kills to 0. What I was just about to say, though, is the bigger issue is really the fact that we have now a fort destroyed. I mean, the fort is gone at the 2.5 minutes before the objective got announced. Before the first Immortal gets announced, they lost the fort. It's insane. Level 5.5, and it's just crazy. That means more or less that they're gonna get an early level 7 for the objective. So a talent advantage around that is gonna make this even more tricky for La Crusade. This is not a good start for the franchise. They had such a good game 3 and 4 and were able to force this to the final map, which I really did not expect to happen, but now they're struggling. And if they can recover or not, that's a very different question here. So, very curious to see how this is going to play out for them. Lunara gets killed. Bambi is as dead as his mother. Seems like Arthas is gonna die too. First Deckard Kane is biting the dust, but now they're body blocking Deathwing again. He gets away. Samuro is a little bit low, and he's dead. Samuro is down. Deathwing is on the run. Gets body blocked again. I told you, he needs to lose some weight. He is just, I mean, again, if he goes for a plane ride, he has to book 2 seats. That's all that I'm saying here. But Deathwing down, gets body blocked. He was so close to the gate, and yet so far, that's 8 kills to 0. And the Circus Clowns, they are absolutely murdering the French team. Absolutely murdering them. I mean, at this point in time, the Circus Clowns, they are going through La Crusade like hot butter through French cheese. I mean, 8 kills! 8 minutes into the game. 8 kills. What? They got a level 7 talent advantage. They're absolutely crushing this. Now Skok gets attacked and has to retreat. Phoenix is on the move. The Frenchies haven't given up on this yet. They're trying to go for a bit of a Hail Mary move already in an attempt to safeguard their own Immortal. They're still fighting for it, but they just can't lose more heroes here. This is absolutely crazy. Deathwing with the engage. Guilty Spark is low. Deckard Cain gets attacked again. Urel hops in. They're turning on Deathwing. On the left side, they're still playing with Samuro here, but just look at this slaughter. Skok, on the other hand, he's dead. Finally! Finally a first kill for the red team. They lose Deathwing in the process though. So Deathwing is gone and the fight is by no means over. I mean, they're really playing this one out to the very bitter end. We now have level 8 versus level 6 still in, so there's a stats advantage for the Clowns, and they have the talents advantage, and they make it for the Immortal, and they're gonna win this one. I gotta give the French team some credit though, because they are still 8 kills behind, but they nearly won this objective. Given the fact that for most of this they didn't have a level 7 talent, pretty much for all of it, this is pretty respectable. This could have been so much worse here. I mean, so much worse. So, this is... I want to say this is still alright. They salvaged what there was to salvage. Now, it's still a bad spot to be in. I'm not going to deny that. They're 1.5 levels behind and their top lane is suffering. That bottom fort is still gone. But given where they started into the objective, you can still argue that they made the best out of it. Or at least they kept the Immortal very, very low. Would have been better if they could have won the entire thing. But it's still not taking their top fort. So there's maybe some silver lining on the horizon. A little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. The main pain is going to be the level 10 ability for the blue team. If they can bridge that gap to level 10 without losing too many heroes and having to give up too much, that would be great. They're going to lose the top fort. That's going to happen. But if that's all, then they are going to be in a decent spot for the next fight, and that's what's going to matter most. By the way, no Murky, no Brr. We get the Salvo on level 10 for Phoenix. So this time, without Swampgrotta on Murky with an Octograb, they're deciding to just let the Planet Cracker go. We still get the Mosh Pit though. And also the Ardent Defender with a 7-sided strike. Play pauses the game. I absolutely understand that. They are collectively going to apply a little bit of aloe vera after all of those burns that they received in the early game. I mean, they got spanked so hard that rumor has it some of their players have decided to play out the rest of the game standing. Can neither deny nor confirm, obviously. But right now, they need to do something. They have to fall back. They have to soak both lanes. They need to get level 10. They have to give everything else up until that's in the bag. And the blue team is now going to go for the top. They're going to take out the fort. The only question is, what else can they get? There's a camp that you could steal, obviously, over here. And this is likely going to happen. I would be surprised if the Clowns did not make a move for it. Can you go for the keep? I mean, maybe they can soften up the wall a little bit, but I don't think that they can get more than that. Time will tell, but La Crusade, they just need to soak experience. Don't lose heroes right now, and just do your thing. So, as is, the camp gets stolen. I mean, that was to be expected. It's an entire level that they gotta soak. This is so nasty. So, yeah, the camp is stolen away. Now with that, they should probably move to the top lane and just try to take the wall down. That's at least what's being expected by the red team here too. There's little else to do, honestly. I mean, there's another 2 camps up on the map. Maybe they can try and take down Samuro. Yeah, if they can find him, and they just did. So, yep, that could be a kill. They find him a little bit too late, and he gets away. All right, good for him. Good for him. Samuro makes his way out of the fight. Now they take the additional camp at the bottom of the map. Immortals are spawning, and here comes the level 10 for La Crusade. This is the moment, guys. This is the moment. Bladestorm is taken. They also have the Army of the Dead. Deckard Cain. The Storyteller is back to business. Stay a while and get wrecked. Thornwood Vines into. They have to win this one. They're 2 levels behind. if they lose this objective and they lose the team fight, then this is going to be an utter disaster. There's also a double camp at the bottom of the map that eventually they have to deal with. That's not going to be easy either, but they gotta do it. Deathwing likely going to contribute there. But here comes the play for the Immortal, so the initial damage is being done. Down here, as you can see, yes, he's going to try his best to quickly obliterate those camps so that their keep wall is not taking too much damage. In comes Deathwing, diving in deep, trying to make his play. Also, not forget, level 13 is closing in for the blue team. Fights continue, ETC at the front, and the party is there. Dance, baby, dance. They're going in for Nagrom. Arthur's down, but ETC is alive. ETC is alive, and Deathwing died too. Now Deckard Cain trying to get out of the fight. No chance, baby. He gets crushed, or at least he should get crushed. Is he actually getting away from this one? There's no way. No. With ETC sliding once again and Lauber just doing his thing, they're getting the kill. The old man is gone. Panda Colada is hopping out with Bambi. But we have now 12 kills to 1, level 13, a 2-level advantage, a stats lead and a talent lead that they can now rely upon. And this should be a pretty big Immortal for the blue team. They're looking fantastic over here. Absolutely great. So yeah, nicely done. Good damage for sure. We got Willy making a move now, trying to take the hit points of the blue team's Immortal as best as they can. And they are doing way more damage than I expected, especially Lunara's, of course, chipping in again. But damn, they're really crushing this. Way better than expected. Nicely done. Alright. Still far behind. Still a big problem. But I gotta say that whenever they get their hands on the Immortal, they're doing damage. But now it's another kill against Deckard Cain. The old geezer is gone. In comes the damage. Another salvo possible for Phoenix. And here it comes. Salvo is out. Damage dealt very quickly. Lunara eliminated by Urel a second later. And Arthur's dies too. So yeah, they're losing ground again. 15 kills to 2 by now. Still maintaining that 2-level advantage. Phoenix is in a bit of trouble and Deathwing wants the kill. Doesn't get it, but Lauber is also low. And here comes the Blade Storm. ETC dies. Death Knight and Skork still trying to escape here. This isn't over yet. They lost ETC and the damage is still being dealt. Svamgrotta is pushed back. Nobody's making moves for the Immortal right now. But this is getting a bit brutal. Can they take this one? Can they sneak it in? Guys, they're trying. They're trying and they got some damage. And look who's back. Bambi back to business. So now they are claiming it. They're so close. And yet so far. 3,000 hit points remaining. The blue team with a second objective in their hands. Despite the fact that they are having every single fight played out with a talent advantage at some point or another, they are still struggling here. I gotta admit, this is pretty awesome. Yeah, they're doing really well. I mean, currently it's 15 kills to 3. I gotta give the Frenchies some credit of how well they are playing, despite the fact that they're always far behind in experience and also in talents. But this is still decent. So off we go. We got the push through the bot lane. Obviously, the goal is to take one of the keeps down. No talent advantage any longer. Deathwing with the engage. Stay a while and get wrecked. Deckard Cain with the ult. Trying to set them up. And they lose Deathwing again. Deathwing just turning into Deadwing. And I have no idea how the blue team just keeps their players alive. They're always so low, but they somehow just survive through all of it. Now Samura is dead. That's the third one to fall. The keep is also about to get dropped. The Immortal is crushing it. 18 kills to 3. It's insane. Oh boy, they're 3 levels ahead now. 3 levels ahead, and they got level 16 on top of that too. I mean, yeah. It would take a miracle for La Crusade to get back into this game. They have not taken a single fort down, and they're just so far behind. Their only remaining chance, I believe, would be a level 16 talent and trying to win a fight around that. Now, they have a lot of push power. Well, I mean, again, given the status of where we are, obviously Sylvanas was banned. You don't really have too many heroes that can absolutely crush us in a Grey main here. But you got a Lunara, you got a Samuro, so you still got a couple of heroes that could help you to take structures down if at any point you make a team fight victory happen. If you get to a point where you kill like 4 or 5 heroes, they could get somewhere. And they have been very close. The last fight after Deathwing made the engage happen, there were multiple heroes on the blue team that were exceptionally low in hit points. If they get those kills, they could build on it and get more, use that momentum and drive the train a bit. But it's obviously tricky given the spot that they're in right now. If they make it to level 16 during the next objective at some point, they might just get that even talent fight that would allow them to do this. Do they get to that point? Different question. But, I mean, this is their only hope. 50,000 damage for Deathwing. I mean, it's not bad. They have 50,000 damage on Deathwing, they have 38,000 damage on Lunara. The problem simply is they just can't get these kills. How many times did Lauba get out of a fight with negative hit points? Karazim rushing away earlier, also with pretty much nothing left. Same true for Phoenix. So half a level is missing until 16. Halftime shows something that they will have to give up. This is likely going to be their last chance. Molten Core comes in. They go full Terror on this one. And with that, at the bottom of the map, they're going to get their level 6. Look at the blue team. They know what's happening here. They, of course, would love to get a kill now. If they get a kill now, that would just be best case scenario. But 16 is going to be ready in a second. They got to slow them down a bit regardless. So 16 is in. Can they fight around this? They're already trying. Immortal is likely going to be won by the Circus Clowns. The question is, can they win the fight? They need a team fight and they need to win it. They went straight into the harsh winds over here. We got the Elementium plating. And now you need to go for that team fight victory. Objective secondary. You need to win the team fight. You need to take kills. They're diving in deep. ETC moving out. 7-sided strike used right away. Arthas is dead. Arthas is down. Not a good start into the battle. Phoenix jumps out. He's still safe. Deathwing once more in trouble. Swamgrota is on Samuro. There's the party as ETC makes him dance. But Lauba is dead. Lauba is dead. So is Deathwing. It's a 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3 and they're trying. Immortal's about to be taken. Lunara down. And the Immortal gets claimed. This looks like a lights out move. Guilty Spark gets dropped. Samuro is the only survivor. Nobody else is left. Death Knight actually runs into him. Death Knight runs into him. Might need some help here. 7-sided is back in a few seconds, but there's the kill. Play with the solo. Comes in and takes him down. Arthas is back. They're going for the core. Catapults griefing as usual. 2 catapults. Hardcore grief happening. Arthas is dead again. He came, he saw, he died. Veni, Vidi, BG. But the core gets dropped slowly and steadily. Game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. It seems inevitable. The Immortal is already at the top. The core is down to 44%. The Immortal is dealing with the top keep. Down here, they're trying to get kills. It's a disaster. They did such a great job. La Crusade won 2 games in a row to force this 5th map, but it seems impossible to recover. 24 kills, 2-5. The top keep is gone. Once again, the core low, Lunara dead, and this just has to be it. The Immortal alone is going to seal the deal here. What a series! What a series to conclude Group A. Circus Clowns, they take the number 1 spot and La Crusade ends up 2nd place. GG, well played.